Louise Brown was born in a wonderful farmhouse called Brookside near Port Maitland, just outside of Dunnville. And shortly thereafter, the family moved to Dunnville. She grew up in Dunnville, just down the street from where the two tennis courts were, and then walking distance of Dunnville High School. But she was always looking for an outlet, and her grandfather, Tremere, was able to see that tennis could be an outlet for her based on the fact there were two lovely courts down the street. So in the heart of the Great Depression, he put $4 into a Fred Perry racket, and she trekked on down to the courts where she taught herself how to play tennis. Louise really enjoyed her high school years because she could play tennis after school every day. And after meeting Ross Brown, who was on the football team there, she helped him graduate by getting him through Latin. A very disciplined person by nature. She brought that discipline to all walks of life, specifically tennis, where her work ethic was off the chart. It was 1937. Most of the young men were playing golf, while most of the young ladies were playing tennis. A young man by the name of Ross Brown went over to the tennis club, which was Grandview Tennis Club in Dunnville, pointed to this young lady and asked, "Who is that girl with Ginger Rogers' legs?" Tom Jacobs, later to become Judge Jacobs, responded, "That's Louise Cook." The beginning of a 60-year life journey had begun. In the late 1930s and early 1940s, Louise Cook and Ross Brown became skilled enough to represent the Grandview Tennis Club, also known as the Dunnville Tennis Club, in Niagara and District Tennis League. My father was the catalyst for my mother's success. Louise Brown needed a partner in life, but she needed a partner who could share the wins and the losses and accept both and nurture her through her weaker periods where she was reluctant to change her game. That encouraged her, forced her to modify her game so that she could become a champion versus a runner-up finalist. My mother's hero would probably be my dad off the court. She really understood what he had contributed, what he had sacrificed to make her a champion for decades. He did it with a smile on his face. He was so proud. He developed an ulcer watching her play, but he was so supportive. On the court, Mother's heroes, I believe, are Althea Gibson and Billie Jean King, for the pioneers that they were in tennis, just like she was a pioneer in ladies tennis in Canada. The Toronto Tennis Club created a champion in my mother. Every tennis player who was great at that time in Ontario was playing at the Toronto Tennis Club. If you wanted to be a champion, you had to be club champion first. Then you could be a national champion. She was club champion 23 times. She was on the court from 12 noon till 4 o'clock every day it didn't rain. There's an equation for success. The Toronto Tennis Club was part of that equation. Success in anything, specifically tennis, is a result of aptitude, opportunity, and work ethic. To become a champion, you must have physical and mental courage. I would play tennis for half an hour every day with her. When I became good enough, she asked me to warm her up before her matches in the finals of the Ontario Open. When she was playing national events, I was her chosen practice partner at 12, 13 years of age. Can you imagine how a young man feels to be out there warming up a future champion like Louise Brown? Overall, she took us to hockey, took us to baseball. She was an incredible nurturing mother and a great mentor to all of us. Having been defeated in the final of several singles in the Canadian Open Tennis Championships, in 1957, Louise won the Quebec Open, the Ontario Open, and the Canadian Open singles and doubles, called the Triple Crown, and was undefeated in Canada for the entire year of 1957. Louise had become one of the greatest tennis players ever developed in Canada, and it started in Haldimand County. She was given the title by Hall of Fame sports writer George Gross as the Grande Dame of Canadian tennis. In 1963, at the age of 40 years, Louise was chosen to lead a Canadian tennis team to compete throughout Europe, where they competed in the Italian, the French Open, and numerous other tournaments leading up to Wimbledon and the World Cup of tennis called the Federation Cup. At Wimbledon, Louise was the opening match against Margaret Court, who to this day has more Grand Slams in singles than Serena Williams. Louise would compete in several Federation Cup events representing Canada, both as a player and a captain. Late into her 40s, Louise won numerous additional tournaments, and in 1969, in the first Canada Games in Halifax, won a gold medal for Ontario. She was 46 years of age, becoming the Gordie Howe of tennis. Louise and her son David became the only mother and son to play in the U.S. Nationals the same year. Louise was 45 at the time. Her family is one of two families in Canadian history to have members who represent Canada in Davis Cup and Federation Cup, the other being John and Carling Bassett. At the age of 49, Louise was still ranked in the top 4 in Canada. The 3 ahead of her were under 23 years of age. At the age of 50, Louise was diagnosed with cataracts on both eyes. She would never compete in open event again. Louise's relationship with the grandchildren was unique. She became Nana after our favorite aunt when I was young, and it was the title that she wore proudly. She cherished the kids coming over, the grandkids coming over, swimming in the pool, putting together special events at Christmas and birthdays, and just sharing Sunday dinners and checking on how their lives were evolving. So it was a special relationship. Louise's mother had an ability to nurture all the various aspects of her life in a positive way.